I got a comment from someone asking if it's possible to run Flowise locally, including the vector database. And the short answer is yes. In fact, it's super simple. There are many reasons as to why you would want to run Flowise locally and host the database locally as well. This can be useful if you're still learning how to use AI in your applications. It can also be useful if you're working with sensitive data that you don't want to share with the outside world. So in this video, we'll take it a step further. I'll show you how to set up Flowise locally, including the vector database, and we'll also use Record Manager. Record Manager will ensure that we are not creating duplicate or stale data in the database. And we'll also use a free open source model, 100% local on your own machine as well. So let's dive in. If you're new to Flowise, then definitely check out my Getting Started video, where we go into a lot of detail on the different ways you can access this platform. But in order to set up Flowise locally, we can go to flowiseai.com, and on this page, we simply have to execute these two commands in the terminal. So let's actually grab the first one, and then open up the command prompt or terminal on your machine, and paste in that command. Now, I've already installed Flowise on my machine, so I'm not going to do it again. So let's go ahead and copy the second command and run it in the terminal as well. This will start up Flowise on your own machine. Once you get this message saying that Flowise server is listening at port 3000, you can simply open up localhost port 3000 in your browser. And if it's your first time accessing Flowise, you will be asked to sign up for an account. Don't worry though, this information will not leave your machine. It's simply there to protect your account even if it is running locally. After signing in, you will be greeted with the Flowise dashboard. And what we'll do is create a RAG agent. In other words, an agent that's got access to a custom knowledge base. And we will do that by going to Agent Flows. So from Agent Flows, let's create on Add New. And let's rename our workflow by clicking on the Save button. Then let's give it a name like RAG Agent. And let's save this. Then let's go to Add Nodes, let's add the agent node, and let's connect our start node to the agent node. Let's double click on the agent node to change its parameters. First, I'm going to rename this guy to my assistant, and let's commit this. Now for the model, we're able to select from a wide range of providers. And if you've been following the series up until now, we've been using Chat OpenAI, which is a paid service. Now for this video, we want to run everything offline and securely on our machine. So how do we do that? Well, we'll use a service called Chat Ollama. Now this won't work by itself. We actually have to set up Ollama on our machines. So to install Ollama, go to ollama.com, then click on download, and download and install Ollama for your operating system. After installing Ollama, you should see the app in your operating system somewhere. You can also confirm that it's set up correctly by opening up your command prompt and running Ollama. And you should see these commands show up. Now we need to download a large language model, and that's very easy as well. Go to Models, and from here you can see all the models that are available in Ollama. And this includes text generation models and reasoning models as well. We'll be downloading two models for this tutorial. For our large language model, we'll download Llama 3.2. This is a lightweight model that's actually very powerful. It only needs about 2 gig of disk space and requires the same amount of VRAM. This model also includes tool use, which is important for agents that need to interact with their environment, like accessing a knowledge base or calling external tools like web search. To download this model, simply click on this command, and back in your command prompt, paste in that command and press enter. This will now download and set up the model on your machine. I've already done that, so I'm able to send a test message to the model to test it out. So let's say, hey, and it's asking how can I assist you today? And that means it's working. We can exit out of this by typing /by. Cool. Now we need to download one more model. So let's go to Models, let's click on Embeddings, then let's click on Nomic Embed Chat. Let's copy this command and let's run it in the terminal as well. We'll use this embedding model to vectorize our documents in our vector database. It's a bit technical, but we need this in order to retrieve similar documents from the database. Once we've downloaded this, we can simply close the terminal, we can close Ollama as well, and go back to Flowise. Under our model selection, let's expand the parameters, and for the model name, let's enter Llama 3.2. We can actually close these parameters, and we should be able to chat to the model now using Flowise. Remember to save your flow before testing it. Then in the chat, let's say, hey, and I instantly get a response. Cool, now that this is working, let's have a look at adding a custom knowledge base. And as we said, we need this database to run locally on our own machines. So let's go back to the Flowise dashboard, let's go to document stores, let's add a new document store, and let's call this local KB for local knowledge base. Let's add this, let's click on the document store, and now let's start adding documents. I'm going to use the docx loader and select my Oak and Barrel QA document from my desktop. Cool, then for the text splitter, let's select the recursive character text splitter. I'm going to change the chunk size to 200 with a chunk overlap of 20. You might want to use the default values instead. And if you want a deep dive on using RAG in Flowise, then check out my dedicated RAG deep dive video, which I'll link to in the description of this video. I'm going to click on Preview Chunks, let's click on Process, let's refresh this, and now that everything's processed, let's go to More Actions, Upsert All Chunks, and now we have to add these 3 steps to get our database to work. The Record Manager step is optional, but I do recommend it, and I will explain why in a minute. For embeddings, let's select Ollama Embeddings. Now we can use the embedding model which we downloaded earlier, which was called Nomic Embed Text. Then for the vector store, we do have a few options. Now we could use Flowise, which is a really cool database which you can run locally on your own machine. All you have to do is provide a path where you want the database to be created, and that's it. However, there's one big limitation here. This database does not give us access to Record Manager, and there's a big reason why you want to use Record Manager. It's able to prevent duplicate documents in your database, and it's able to remove stale data. And if you've ever dealt with RAG in the past, you know what a pain it can be to keep this data clean. So instead of using Flowise, I'm going to use Postgres. And if you've been following the series, you'll know that I'm a very big fan of using Postgres for these agents. However, in the previous videos, we used a service like Supabase to host that database for us. And of course, we don't want to send data to any provider in this video. So I'll show you how to set up a Postgres database on your own machine. And don't be overwhelmed, this is actually easier than you might think. We'll use Docker to host the database locally. So go to docker.com and then download and install Docker for your operating system. So when you start Docker Desktop, you should see a screen similar to this, which means Docker is up and running. Now we simply have to spin up a container that contains a Postgres database. To do that, open up your command prompt or terminal. You will find the following command in the description of this video. Simply copy it and paste it into your terminal. Now don't worry too much about the details of this. It's simply telling Docker to start up a new container called pgvector-db. Then we're setting a few parameters like the username, which we'll simply call Postgres, and we're setting the password as Postgres as well. And we'll call the database vector_test, and we'll run this database on port 5432. And we'll be using the ankane pgvector template. That's it. If you want, you can go and change the username and password. I'll simply stick with the defaults and press enter. This will now download and set up this container on your machine. Cool, now that this is done, we can close the terminal, and in Docker Desktop, you should see this record over here, and it should be running. If it's showing as a stopped state, then simply click on Start to start your database. Cool, we don't have to do anything else with Docker Desktop. And then from this drop down, let's click on Create New. Let's give it a name like Local Postgres. Then for the user, let's enter Postgres, and we use Postgres as the password as well. Then for the host, let's enter localhost. For the database name, let's enter vector_test. And for the port number, let's enter 5432. Now that's all we have to do for the database. Let's also add Record Manager, which is something we can use to prevent duplicates and eliminate stale data. Let's select Postgres, then let's select our credentials, and now we can simply copy across all the values that we entered earlier, like so. Under Record Manager, let's also change the cleanup method to full, and let's save this config, and finally, let's upload our documents to the database. And look at that, we've successfully uploaded 29 documents to our database. If you didn't set up Record Manager, this upsert process would actually duplicate the documents in the database. But because we've used Record Manager, watch what happens when we run upsert. Record Manager identified that we already have these 29 documents available in the database, so therefore they're being skipped. Also, if you had to remove documents from the database and ran upsert again, Record Manager will pick up that those documents have been deleted and then remove them from the vector database as well. How awesome is that? Right, now that we've set up our document store, let's go back to our agent, which we called rag agent, and then let's double click on this agent node. And now we can assign things like tools, and of course we can assign a document store. So under this document store section, let's click on add knowledge. Then from the drop down, let's select our document store. And now in the description, we need to tell the agent when to use this document store. So let's say returns information about the oak and barrel. We can also ask it to return the source documents. So let's enable those. And we should be able to test this out already. In the chat, let's ask, what are the current specials? First, we can see that the local KB tool was indeed called, and we get our response back from the agent. Let's actually expand this. So we can see the tool was called, and the agent came back with an accurate result from our knowledge base. And of course, we get the citations as well. You now have a powerful AI agent that's running totally on your own machine with a local database. You can still take this a step further though. Let's say we wanted to add Google search capabilities to this model as well. Now, of course, for that, the model needs to go online to perform a Google search, but I think it's still worth just showing that this agent can, of course, do things locally, and when needed, it can go online and perform certain tasks as well. So let's add the SERP API tool. Let's select the SERP API credentials. And you can see how I set all of this up in the agent tutorial in the series, but I'll just select these. Then let's ask it, what is the current weather in Cape Town? Let's send this. And our agent used the search tool to go online and retrieve this up-to-date information for us. If you've liked this video, then please consider hitting the like button, subscribe to my channel for more Flowise content, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.